Hello, my name is María de la Morena, and I am a professor at Camilo José de la University, teaching in the faculties of Education and Communication. I'm here today to start the presentation of our paper that I'm sharing with Irene García. She's going to continue with this video, and we are both working together. She as a research student on her PhD dissertation, and the paper we are going to present together deals with the creation of research instruments in order to be able to gather specific information in educational research. So let me continue with my presentation, this time showing you a PowerPoint to guide us through the content of the paper. As I have already told you, there are two authors in this paper, Irene García and myself. And the title of our paper is on the elaboration of data collection instruments to communicate scientific knowledge. We have written this paper because we are concerned with the lower reputation that educational science enjoys if we compare it to the natural sciences or other social sciences such as economy. We have followed historian Castle's recommendation from 1993 to increase the reputation of educational research. In order to do so, we are offering this way to link educational research and practice. We are offering a model for the creation and the validation of instruments to obtain scientific knowledge in the educational field. We believe it is critical that educational researchers can count on valid scientific instruments which help them obtain reliable scientific data. However, these instruments are not always available for the different educational areas of study. So, this is why in this paper we argue in favor of designing and conducting our own scientific instruments. We hope it helps other educators start their own research lines by leading by example. We have divided our presentation, as you can see, into 4 main points. We will start analyzing the methodological reasons why researchers may decide to design their own instrument. In addition, we will describe the process of designing a questionnaire, a quantitative instrument that helps researchers build qualitative data. Furthermore, we will explain the process of getting the instrument validated, both by a statistical analysis and by a group of experts on the different contents of the instrument, quantitative and qualitative means. And finally, we will lay out the results of the validations of our questionnaire. Why did we make this decision of designing our own instrument? There were 3 main reasons. As you can see, designing an instrument is very time-consuming, especially in the case of questionnaires, according to Cohen, Manning, and Morrison. These can induce researchers to avoid creating their own instruments and to try to use already existing ones. But they might not be the perfect fit for their study. However, we had the necessary time to create the questionnaire and strongly believed
this would be the best thing to do for the purpose of the dissertation. In the bibliographical review phase of this dissertation, we realized that already validated questionnaires found in bibliography did not address the issues we aimed to. So, for the purpose of our dissertation, we needed a method to collect quantitative data, and that could help researchers then draw qualitative findings and conclusions. This instrument needed to take into account the human aspects of education, the educator's opinions and points of view, so that we could link research and practice. Because of these, we chose to design a Likert scale questionnaire, an excellent tool to measure parameters of groups of people. And they have already been used in educational research and the social sciences in the last years. This type of questionnaire assesses the degree of agreement of the participants with the items through a rating scale. Rating scales normally have 5 possible responses, which range from strongly disagree to strongly agree. We have chosen to add a 6th option to our scale. Does not apply, in order to avoid assuming knowledge or viewpoints. Now, Irene will continue with the following slides of our presentation.
Good morning, fellow researchers and members of the Congress. As my colleague Marian has already explained, I am Irene Garcia, and I am the other author of this paper. I will now continue with the presentation my colleague Marian has started, and I will turn our attention to our instrument. The questionnaire was created to serve the purposes of a larger study for a doctoral dissertation. This dissertation identifies 3 central issues to our study: professional learning communities, leadership, and motivation. In order to address the 3 issues and meet the objectives of our dissertation, this questionnaire is made up of 29 items. The items are divided into 3 main categories, using several items for each issue. There is also a comment section at the end of each set of items, so that the respondents can add comments if they need to. Now, I will explain the process of validation of the questionnaire. We used 2 procedures, as you can see on this table. First, we used expert judgment to evaluate the instrument's content validity. The chosen method of validation was developed by Tristan Lopez in 2008. It asks the experts to rate the level of relevance of each of the items in the questionnaire. The experts can mark each of the items as essential and necessary, useful but not necessary, and neither useful nor necessary. Then, each item's content validity ratio is calculated using the expression that you can see on the table, dividing the number of experts that mark the item as essential and necessary by the total number of experts validating the instrument. Items with a content validity ratio higher than 0.58 can be kept, whereas items with a validity ratio lower than 0.58 will be eliminated from the questionnaire. Apart from validating the questionnaire, its content, we have also calculated its internal reliability through a statistical analysis. Cronbach developed in 1951 a method to calculate the internal consistency of an instrument, which can be expressed with a number from 0 to 1. We have calculated our instrument's Cronbach alpha coefficient using the last version of the statistical software SPSS. In this slide, you can see the results we obtained in the 2 validations of our questionnaire. Concerning the external validation, a group of 10 experts validated the questionnaire. They are considered experts due to the position they hold in their professional lives. We have 3 principals and 2 vice principals of American and Spanish schools. We have the CEO of a group of international schools around the world, and 4 educational doctors at different universities in the USA and Spain. Once the 10 experts validated the questionnaire, we calculated the content validity ratio of each of the items in the questionnaire. We consider acceptable those items that at least 58.23% of the experts marked as essential and necessary. All the items not meeting this requirement were eliminated. The final version of the questionnaire consists of 29 items, as I have already explained. Concerning the statistical analysis, the instrument's Cronbach alpha, calculated using SPSS, is 0.84, which indicates a good internal consistency. This final version of the questionnaire was tested on a group of 187 teachers from the USA and Spain as part of our doctoral dissertation. To conclude, we would like to point out that creating an instrument that showed internal reliability and was validated by experts is very rewarding. We wrote this article because educational research needs to use scientific methods that ensure reliability, and the fact that we have created an instrument with such characteristics is very rewarding. Being involved in this process has made us come to the conclusion that while educational research needs to use scientific methods that ensure reliability, teachers and researchers cannot forget the complexity of the educational science, which is larger than quantifiable data. We believe that quantification needs to be a tool that helps educational researchers understand our complex field of study, and not the other way around. Finally, we hope to have diminished the intellectual isolation of education researchers around the world, and we hope we have empowered other researchers with valuable insight into our own process. The present slide collects the key bibliography that we have used. You can find more titles on the full version of our article. We would like to thank you for watching our presentation. Here you can see the contact information and the email addresses in case you need to contact us with comments or questions. I just wanted to finish this presentation showing you my face, since teaching is such a humanistic profession and it's so important to have human contact. I just wanted to thank you on behalf of my colleague Marian and myself. Thank you so much for watching, and if now you have any further comments or questions, please feel free to write them down and we will answer as soon as possible. Thank you so much.